Hello, I'm Donald Tex Bryant, President of the Board here at Leisure Creek Condominium Association. By now, you should have received in the mail a packet inviting you to the May 8th annual meeting. Also included in the packet were suggested bylaw amendments. How did this come about? Well, last fall, Courtney Raschick from Grandmark suggested to the board that we look at the bylaws as they were 30 years old and were probably out of date. She suggested that we use Herzl Law, a preeminent law firm here in the state of Michigan that dwells on condo law. We said that that would be a good idea. And so she had Herzl look at the condominium bylaws. They came back with 3 levels of recommended changes. The first level of change were those that were necessary to be changed because the bylaws were out of sync with federal and state laws, or there were entirely missing pieces that should be there because of state and federal laws. A second level were highly recommended changes because situations have changed in the last 30 years and the bylaws did not address these. Among these were marijuana use. Also, absentee ballot has become very common in voting, and we wanted to address that too. There are other changes they highly recommended. A third level were suggested or optional changes. Then we decided to form a committee of co-owners to look at these bylaws and come back with recommended changes of ones they think we should adopt. These committee members were Mel Olson, Jan Sarver, Phil McMillan, and Katie Dunlap. This committee, after looking over the suggested changes from Herzl Law, came back to the board with recommended changes. These are the ones that you now see in your packet. Perhaps you've looked at this and say, wow, this is hard to read. Well, yes, because it's in legal terms, and as for most people, it is very difficult to read. Fortunately for us, Herzl Law also included a simplified version of the bylaw recommendation. Here you see a document from Herzl Law that is in your packet that presents simplified wording of the recommended changes to the bylaws. We suggest you read this carefully and see if it does not answer your questions about bylaw changes. Once you have read this document carefully, you may still have some questions. And there are several avenues to have questions asked and answered for you. Among these is to submit written questions to Courtney, either by mailing them to her or dropping them in the locked box by the office. And then at the annual meeting on May 8th, a lawyer from Herzl will be there to answer these written questions. Again, if you have questions that you want answered by Herzl lawyer, you must write them down and send them ahead, as we will not be taking questions from the audience at that time. Another avenue for answering questions is to come to the office on Tuesdays between 11:30 and 12:30, as the board members are always there. You may ask a board member questions about the bylaw changes, and we will try to answer them as well as possible. If neither of these options work for you, please feel free to contact a board member. Now to the question of voting. How do we vote? There are 2 options. You may come to the May 8th annual meeting and vote. Remember, only owners who are registered with Grandmark are allowed to vote on the bylaws. If you cannot be at the annual meeting, there is a proxy ballot included in the package mailed to you. Here is an example of the proxy ballot included in the package mailed to you. Notice it has 3 places to sign yes or no for the 3 amendments, plus places to sign your name and date. There are several ways that you may return this proxy ballot. One is to mail it to Courtney Raschick at Grandmark. Her address is provided on the proxy. Another is to drop the proxy at the office in the secure drop box. A third way is to send it with a proxy person whose name is listed on the ballot to the May 8th meeting. Hopefully, this video has answered most, if not all, of your questions about the condo bylaw recommended changes. Thank you for your time and hope you have a wonderful day.